Tonight, a KXAN in-depth report. Austin tops the lists of places to visit, cities with job growth and hotspots for foodies. But here's a statistic of a true contrast. According to the city, 1 in 4 people who live here do not know where their next meal will come from. So city leaders devised a new effort to tackle what are known as food deserts.
Special contributor Leslie Rohde takes an in-depth look at that problem and the solutions in the works.
The term is food insecurity. It's a multifaceted problem, so the city's plan has many solutions, and this is one, targeting these areas, food deserts. What the U.S. Agriculture Department says are places where people live more than 10 miles away from a grocery store in rural areas or more than 1 mile away in urban ones. We met a man who lives out in this food desert who says fresh, healthy, and affordable food can be hard to find. At least once a week,
going to the H-E-B on 51st.
Melvin Green takes a 10-mile drive.
I don't think we should have to drive that far.
He's headed from his home in Del Valley to the grocery store in East Austin. He says sells fresh, healthy food at an affordable price that fits his budget. A budget that stretches to feed a family of 6, including his wife and 4 grandsons.
We do make sure that all of them eat healthy. We try to keep healthy food. No apples around, oranges or bananas and stuff like that.
Melvin's neighborhood does have a small grocery store and a convenience stop, but he says he can't find all he needs there.
The stores you have here, they're expensive and it doesn't have a lot of variety of stuff.
A lack of access to healthy food is part of the reason Austin's Sustainability Office reports 25% of the people living here are food insecure.
The city of Austin recognized that while the city is booming in a lot of ways, there's a significant percentage of the population that's still really struggling with some very basic things, whether to pay the rent, whether to pay utility bills, or whether to buy healthy food.
The city of Austin has more than 50 community gardens like this one at Festival Beach all around town with the goal of getting people to eat healthy food. But the city council just added $800,000 to its new budget toward food insecurity. And it will be used in some new innovative ways.
Is that how it is? That'll be $1.
New mobile markets deliver fresh produce from local farmers directly into neighborhoods. 7 hit the streets this fall, providing everything from squash to sweet potatoes. And federal assistance benefits are doubled in value when people buy here. Also in the city's plan, new education outreach to make sure people who are eligible for federal food assistance are getting it. Support for small neighborhood corner stores in providing healthy food. A new full-time city food access coordinator. A street-by-street food environment analysis to determine where the need is greatest. And incentives to grocery stores to build in food deserts.
You can tell even as you go all the way up here, there's nothing.
This Austin American Heart Association team hopes attracting a grocery store to a community where food insecurity is high will eventually make the area healthier. They see a correlation between a lack of access to healthy food and a higher rate of obesity and heart disease, and not just in adults.
When we talk about adult diseases, your diabetes, your heart attacks, your strokes, we see more and more of those. We can't call those adult diseases anymore. It's happening with children.
He loves vegetables right here. Just a hot dog eater. He all around eater.
Melvin is doing his best to make sure his grandsons, who eat a lot, eat well. So he'll keep making that drive to the grocery store to keep his refrigerator stocked with the fresh, healthy foods they need.
Try to keep them healthy as much as possible.
There's also an educational effort at many area schools, teaching children healthy eating habits by getting them out in a school garden. These children are part of the Texas Sprouts Research Project. It's coordinated by a UT Associate Professor of Nutritional Science. She's trying to determine if school gardens have a real impact on children's health.
We're seeing a huge increase in childhood obesity. We're seeing also a huge increase in metabolic disease risk associated with childhood obesity. So our kids aren't just getting chubby anymore. They're getting a lot of other comorbidities associated with it.
Davis is also keeping track of standardized test scores of these students in this study to see if gardens affect cognitive performance. You can read more about this research project in our in-depth story at KXAN.com, and also link to my blog to learn more about Associate Professor Davis and her passion for this gardening education. Leslie Rohde, KXAN News.
Thanks, Leslie. Look for the topic of food insecurity to come up in the next legislative session. State Representative Eddie Rodriguez of Austin tells KXAN he will lead the effort to combat food deserts across Texas. He sponsored a bill last session that would have established a statewide investment fund for building and expanding grocery stores in food deserts. It did not pass, so he says he will sponsor a similar bill this upcoming session.